Okay, I am live. Welcome back. If you were here for my last stream where I explained what I'm kind of going to be doing moving forward with my Storymatic writing sessions, where every week I'm going to try and grab 4 cards, 2 of which to inform me about my character, 2 to lead me into my plot. And then I am going to come up with a movie synopsis, tell you guys about it, look forward to having your input and collaboration while doing so. And then I'm giving these ideas away to whoever wants to write them. I have too many ideas as a writer to pursue on my own. And I really just want to show that everyone can be a storyteller. Storytelling is so important to who we are as human beings. It's how we evolved and expanded our consciousness by telling stories. It's how we prevented loved ones from danger, sharing warnings around the campfire. and I think stories are so important because the longer you spend learning how narratives work, then you can be more aware of when someone is trying to enforce a narrative on you or making you question your own belief system. Stories are just intrinsic to humans. Like I said, it's how we learn to develop our minds, and it doesn't stop when you're a child learning how to be a storyteller. It can be very handy in a number of things. If you are a good salesperson, you're a good storyteller. If you are someone that is kind of good on... Oh, my cat just knocked over my light. That's okay. I don't need that light right now. If you're someone that can kind of come up with things on the spot, think quick on your feet, it's just a good skill set to have because it's trust within yourself that you can kind of get out of a situation or figure a situation out at a moment's notice. Like interviews are, you have to be a good storyteller. You have to be able to pitch yourself and your capabilities and why you are the perfect protagonist to go on that journey with that company. That's really cheesy, but whatever. I'm still getting used to the live, so I will try to pull up a chat at some point. If I forget, I'll try to do it again if there's anyone that's paying attention to the stream, but we're just getting started. So last week, or 10 days ago when I did my last stream, I think it was 9 or 10 days ago, I'm going to try and be on top of it every week because this is really important to me. I want to build a writers community, not even just a writers community, just whoever wants to participate in this exercise of improvisational storytelling. I'll do like my own writing streams of like what I'm working on and reveal that as time goes on. In my own time, I have a day job. And then when I'm not working on that, I'm now starting to write an epic novel. I'll just say that much right now. So that's taking most of my time. But I come up with an idea for a movie pretty much like every week. It's what I used to do all the time. Used to pitch at film festivals, and I think it's just really fun because there aren't too many movies coming out that I myself would want to. I'm not getting excited about what's coming out of Hollywood. I shouldn't say that because I've been really good the last month with movies. I saw Frankenstein, and I want to see Begonia. There are good movies coming out, but I think if you have a story to tell and you want to turn it into a novel or you want to just adapt it for film, you deserve to kind of get it out there, work hard to get it out there. And I think the world needs really new creative things to view and experience and share with others. So I'm hoping with this streaming and kind of showing my process as well as collaborating with other people that want to help with these stories that can go other places. Eventually have a group where we're doing like a writer's workshop on these ideas and submit them even. But yeah, these ideas, if you want to write something with them, you go ahead. I will list out the prompts like through the Storymatic card game that I use to get out of my head and get ideas flowing. But if you happen to like what I come up with and you're like, I really like that story idea, I want to write it, then by all means, this is me giving you my permission. Like, take my story and run with it. Like, create something that we can all enjoy. Because I don't have time. I'm working on too many projects. So I need to get these ideas going. And just to review, the cards that were pulled were Pirate, Ritual is Interrupted, Audible Bang Outside Vehicle, and Politician. So I had a lot of fun coming up with this idea on the spot when I was reviewing it in the last stream. And it's just, I really want to stress not to judge what comes up in your mind. I've been thinking about some of these ideas, and like Rituals Interrupted, that took me right away to what's a ritual people love to do, and coffee, tea, you know, like their stimulant to get them going for the day, or whatever their morning ritual is, right? It can be almost like precious to us. And I like the idea that that's interrupted and it throws off the whole character's story. And so I clung to that to get ideas going. So Ritual is Interrupted. And then I'm like, hey, what am I going to do? Who do I see? I just saw like a guy making a tea, and then to put more emphasis on it, or to use kind of a plot device, I thought of a customer experience experience I had as a customer trying to buy this tea that can like bloom. And yeah, if you watched the last stream, I kind of went on a rant on it. But anyways, so we had Rituals Interrupted, then Pirate, you know, like a pirate. Are they smuggling something? Are they, you know, they're on the water, they're attacking people. What are they doing? So, okay, so got that idea going. Audible Bang Outside a Vehicle. Okay, something to throw the character off, and maybe their rituals are interrupted, so it's already thrown off. So it's just like building to the rising action. And then Politician. And let's be honest, pretty easy to make a politician an antagonistic character, so that's what I did. So I'll just kind of get into my own breakdown. Can I have some water? And then I'll go through everything that I came up with. And then I'll probably draw some new cards to focus on for this week. And please, yeah, join, follow along if you are interested. I'm just gonna maybe double check. Okay, I think my live is working. Should be good. And if it's not, it's not. I did have an upsetting moment, and why it has taken 9/10 days. I mean, there's no excuse. It's only me showing up here, but I still want to be, you know, doing this consistently and on a schedule. That's the story of my life, though, is having a set schedule. My ritual was interrupted because all the writing I did for this particular breakdown didn't sync properly. I was spending my day at a place with a really bad internet connection, didn't sync up my Google Docs properly. So moving forward, just make sure wherever you're writing your stories, excuse me, you have a good syncing system. If not, just like copy it in a note to yourself or on your phone. Make sure you have backups, because it's really annoying. I had a whole breakdown, everything written out, and then I lost it all, but it's on me. So Pirate, Pirate, Ritual is Interrupted, Audible Bang Outside Vehicle, and Politician. So my log line, just to kind of get started, when you are pitching something, you really want to grab someone's attention. You want to be able to pitch them a catching line that you could pitch in an elevator. So it has to be quick and snappy and grab the attention. So smuggling a DARPA botanist into the Philippines should have been simple. until the pirates realize the real monster isn't the biolab they're covering up for a corrupt politician, but the scientist himself. It needs some work, but oh, this is my cat. Are you okay? Just need some love? Okay, I'll try to scratch you while I do this. Um, just a crazy cat lady over here trying to get some writing going. So Act One is the setup, the world, the routine, and the inciting incident. So Act One is when you really want to grip the audience, get them going, like show them that this is going to be worth their investment of time. Nothing is worse than when you're reading a book and you're like, okay, cool, like I'm slightly invested. And same with a movie. It's like it should, I think a good storyteller, I think Bilbo's chilling now. He's perched on the couch. I think a good storyteller knows that people's time is valuable and you need to treat it as such. So try to grip people right away. Get to the action. I always again, I did a lot of improv. It was my main education and in life and in acting. The main thing I loved about improv was you can set up, especially with longer form improv, and now I apply that to writing. You can establish a scene as if it's already existing somewhere in the universe. So you don't have to kind of give the character's full backstory up front. You can do the show and not tell through action, right? Movies should be action leads to action. This happens and then this happens and then this happens. It shouldn't be like so much information about the character right off the bat. Like you should allow the audience to feel like they're stumbling into like a parallel universe and this character is already living their life. We're just paying attention to it. Like we're coming in at a point that may not be significant to them, but we've already established that they are existing without our attention. I'll kind of explain more what I mean. But so your opening image, I have sterile, minimalist, quiet. It's an apartment. Charlie, who we will later find out is the DARPA botanist, who goes through his morning routine in his lonely, isolating apartment. Subtle clues hint at the absence of his girlfriend. So photos sitting across her empty chair, faint traces of domestic life that's now gone. Like, maybe he's at a double sink in the bathroom brushing his teeth, but there's only him. Or he's eating food at home and he's looking across the empty chair. Like, there's so many things this is kind of why I write books now as opposed to screenplays, because I like to be the director and give the context, but you don't have to do that with screenplays. You can let the director make those choices when the time comes. You can always storyboard with your screenplay, but just focus on getting to the action, getting to what the character wants. So he brews so he's making a tea in a to-go mug and kind of timing his ritual precisely before he begins his commute to work. So we're establishing the routine now, and then Charlie's like listening to. I like this idea of this guy. Very, very kind of gray, sterile environment, but then he gets in his car and he's got the house music playing. He's like really into this type of music. So it's kind of revealing, again, by showing, not telling, like, okay, there's something more to this character. His taste in music doesn't necessarily match his overall vibe that he's trying to present to us, even though he doesn't know we're looking at him in his little corner of the universe. So an odd juxtaposition to his detached demeanor. So he parks, the timer goes off, and he gazes into the mug's contents. He's transfixed. It's euphoric. Like, this is his time to himself before he goes into office. There's something mesmerizing or captivating about him looking into this to-go mug and what he sees. We just see the flower blooming, like a tea. He's drinking a cup of tea and the flower is blooming. So he drinks it, and all of a sudden he kind of seems like really at ease, more relaxed, more dialed in. And he heads into the DARPA's lab, discarding the mug into an incinerator before entering his little work area. So again, showing, not telling. It's like, why does he have to put his mug in an incinerator? Doesn't really add up. It's kind of odd behaviors. Again, through those actions, we learn a lot already about the character. Like, he has a little secret. He's keeping something from us, and we're going to find out. So the day in the life, the pattern, we see his world, the controlled experiments on plants and organic material. There's whispers of some classified research, maybe. This is DARPA. So I'm just kind of established like the routine, what we can come to expect of his day. The evening mirrors the morning. It's very lonely, kind of isolating, and then sleep, and then repeat. He's getting up, he's making the tea, he's which is kind of seems like it's like the anchor for him. And then we get into the inciting incident, because again, we need more. We already have a sense of this character. Like when you see someone like at the superstore, you see what they're buying, you see how they're talking on the phone to someone. There's always little things that we're doing constantly that's revealing things about ourselves. And we are animals, so we're constantly sizing each other up and getting a sense, because we need to determine if they're a threat or maybe not. So the inciting incident happens the next morning as he's performing his ritual again of his parked car. Before he goes in, he's gonna like enjoy his tea. He's rear-ended in the parking lot, and then there's that audible bang. The woman, so the exact term was audible bang outside the vehicle. So it's an audible bang, and then he's rear-ended. There's a woman driver. She's beautiful, confident. She's kind of got a smirk on her face, and she's making her way. As well, there's a tall, intimidating man, and he steps out with her. Maybe they both kind of step out on either side of their like Jeep, or I don't know. Again, it's a story I'm letting go, so you can fill in the details. Before Charlie, I just gave him the name Charlie, can react, he's attacked. His mug is kind of discarded in the car, and everything goes to black. Charlie wakes up, and now we're in Act 2, kind of just the confrontation of what's about to happen. So Charlie wakes up in a luxury hotel room, bruised and disoriented. And then in walks this politician with his group. These two people that he had met, they're detaining him. And then this politician that Charlie recognizes from TV. Again, there's so many ways you can kind of write out how we would know as audiences the politician. Maybe he's on the TV in the hotel room. Maybe we see like some posters like around the hotel. Maybe one of the pirates, either the female or the guy, went for a cup of coffee down the lobby and then walks back up to the stairs, and then we see Charlie again. So many ways you can do it. Again, we're just trying to get through the beats. The politician calmly explains that they know about Charlie's work, as well as his ex-girlfriend and this miracle plant that she was doing research on. So again, we'll kind of get into now more plot points. The politician reveals that he has an incentive for knowing this information about Charlie. He himself has this illegal biolab in the Philippines, which has run into an issue. It's starting to get leaked out that he was funding these illegal experiments in this lab in the Philippines. And by finding out that his ex-girlfriend, the politician found out that Charlie's ex-girlfriend was doing this research, exposing Charlie himself and the experiments that Charlie has been doing with this particular plant he has created. Here we go. I'm getting ahead of myself. So politician calmly explains. So we got the two pirates in the room, the politician, he kind of pitches this, that hey, I know what your ex ran away on you. She walked out on you, and I know what she's been up to in the time that she has been away from you. She's been exposing you through her own research, and I'm going to take advantage of the situation because you have a level of expertise that I need to cover my tracks. And the politician reveals the illegal biolab, and then he needs Charlie's expertise to fix his particular situation, to keep it quiet and recover any of the lost plant formulations. Charlie learns his ex was the undercover journalist who betrayed him. I'm repeating myself, but whatever. She leaked his research to expose him, and the politician took advantage of the information. So yeah, I just explained that. Charlie, devastated and furious, refuses, but the politician has the leverage on him, his research, his reputation, and his freedom. He's forced onto a plane with the pirates bound for the Philippines. Now we're getting to kind of like midpoint, maybe not midpoint. We'll get into that. On the plane, the pirates begin to witness Charlie's calm unravel into this menacing behavior. Like I just picture he's like, he seems very approachable at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, like, just the air to him changes. Something is wrong, and the pirates that have smuggled him onto this plane are starting to pick up on that. Charlie reveals that the experimental plant, the one from his mug, was bonded to his biology. It enhances him, alters his mind and body, and allows him to lock in. He's not just a botanist. He's a bioweapon in human form. He developed the plant out of survival as a need to escape what the government did to him in a secret program while he was in foster care as a kid. So I just kind of fell in love with the idea of this character, this botanist. Well, he became a botanist later, but he's a foster care kid who, let's say, this like secret government program found out from his test scores that he was exceptionally brilliant, and they also took advantage of the system or his situation because he's in foster care, which this has happened in history, and I find super interesting because when the parents aren't there to advocate for a child necessarily, then sometimes the government can step in. And so they're like, yeah, this guy is going to meet the protocol. We're going to experiment on him and take advantage of his particular situation. And again, whenever you do with this story or however it gets told, that'll be up to how you want to show it. But to me, I thought this was intriguing. So now we can hear about his past and reveal more of his character through him becoming, through him revealing that he's actually operating in the world as a Jekyll and Hyde. He has two sides to him. So not just being a botanist, bioweapon in human form is how he describes it. He had developed the plant that he was having every day out of necessity because he doesn't want to take on this other side of himself that was triggered through whatever torture the government did to him when he was in foster care as a youth. And out of the survival need to escape what the government did to him in a secret program, this is what he did. He reinforced this other side of himself that could kind of function. So we'll go from there. So there's a power shift now and a role reversal. The pirates panic as Charlie escapes his restraints, turning the tables on them. Using cunning and improvised toxin, he takes control of the entire situation, forcing the pirates to cooperate after they've landed. So I just kind of picture they get off the plane. They're like, oh my God, what the hell? Like, this is not what we signed up for. Like, we thought this would be an easy job. And the two of them, it's really interesting. Like, they're dynamic. Like, they've worked together before. Who are they? How did they get into like the smuggling business or the pirate life? Again, this is just where I went with it. You could have a more accurate representation of like modern pirates, but I try not to judge where my mind goes when it comes to storytelling, because I think storytelling is excavating. You're pulling thoughts to the forefront and being like, I wonder why that came up. Let's run with it. So this is me running with my ideas. So using his unfair advantage of like knowledge of toxins, plants, things like that, he basically like, again, the role of a reversal happens, and now he's taken these two pirates captive and made them cooperate with him and what he's gonna do now that they've landed in the Philippines? So I kind of see like, yeah, he's got them in like an abandoned warehouse, and he's like telling them more so of what's going on, because they just thought they were, be a quick job, need the money for whatever reason. Shouldn't be too complicated. We've done stuff like this before, but they have not dealt with this guy before. He learns about the politician's biolab and the scale of what's been unleashed. So I think, as we all know, we have illegal biolabs experimenting with things all over the world. And I always find that super interesting, obviously, because I like science fiction. And I think it's good to play with reality and then heighten it a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing with this story. So he learns about the politician's biolab and the scale of what's been unleashed. And he's like, oh my gosh, okay, this is so much worse than I thought it would be. And I'm in this condition now. I'm back to like my old self has taken over. Almost like I'm me, myself, and Irene. So now we're into a forced alliance. And something I always like what happens in a movie is when, the roles, the change up of roles. So the pirates reluctantly join forces with Charlie. They realize the biolab's outbreak is much worse than they could have possibly imagined. The politician had lied to them about how bad it was and his involvement. He's just worried about getting it covered up. He doesn't care if people die. He's just trying to cover his ass. So they realized the biolab's outbreak could destroy them all. So this is much bigger than they thought. They thought they were just going to get this botanist guy to come run some experiments, and then like the politician would blame everything on him. Whatever. The pirates don't care. So through forced proximity, they begin to bond together as a group under the stress. And that's what's always interesting too. Like if you're caught in an elevator with people for a couple hours, you're gonna bond because you're in a stressful situation. You have to work together. And I always love that in storytelling. It's one of my favorite tropes. And I'm going to talk a lot about tropes for the rest of this breakdown. So recognizing that they have all been placed in the situation and their current roles, out of sheer desperation, they are starting to get to know each other. We learn the backstories of our pirates and how they came into be. So hashtag found family. So found family is a good trope, in my opinion. Charlie especially starts becoming close with the female pirate. If you know what I mean. He loves seeing the Philippines through her eyes, her home. So we learn that she's actually from the Philippines. And this is like, she knows the Philippines well. That's why she took the job. Maybe the other guy was living in the Philippines too. I didn't get that far. I just really loved this idea of like this female pirate. Oh, we're going to the Philippines? Yeah, that's my territory. I know that place, so I will get this job done. And also Philippines is so beautiful. I want to go so bad. And I just love the idea of like them experimenting on like the beautiful flowers that grow there. And that is kind of where Charlie may have gotten his inspiration for creating his flower. Maybe he bought the seed from the Philippines. Again, we didn't get too far into that. And now is another trope that I love in writing is when the setting itself becomes a character. You'll see that in so many movies, TV shows, books. The setting itself, the homeland, like where it takes place, has to be emphasized to be in a character in itself. So again, the setting is elevated enough to become a character for the story. So the Philippines is heavily featured, which I always love. And then we have an enemies to lovers type situation. Maybe him and the female pirate. I'll kind of get into my dream cast because that puts a good face to the character. Yeah, they've kind of found that like, we're in the situation, you get caught up, maybe they hook up, and he's also having to deal with the fact that his ex betrayed him. And so, yeah, it would be nice if they had a little something, something. So together, the group eventually tracks down his ex in the Philippines, who's been hiding out, exposed, guilty, and cornered. So there's another like subplot is like finding the ex, right? And they found out that she was being held in the Philippines by the politician. because he wanted as much information out of her as possible, which ended up being Charlie. And then Charlie's been brought in, and I was like, God, again, through his actions, it's revealed he's not going to let her die. He's like, okay, we'll track her down, figure something out. And then she confesses that she leaked his research for profit and to punish him, believing he'd gone too far with the experiments on himself and the flower that he developed, and the fear he would try it on someone else at some point. So I picture them having a very surface level relationship when they were together, because clearly she's keeping stuff from him about being a journalist that goes undercover on things like this. Maybe she even pursued him with this agenda. Maybe she got a tip that this guy was doing this. So they didn't date too long, but because of Charlie's background, he doesn't get close to people very often. So it was more significant of a relationship to him than it was to her. And that's hurtful, because for once he thought like he had figured out a way to keep his head above water. And yeah, it's just sad. Like, he realized in that moment, like, wow, you weren't being authentic, but again, neither was I technically, but I was just experimenting on myself. Like, I'm not going to experiment on other people. And the fact that you think I would do that shows that you don't know me at all, and then she could be like, well, how could I know you if you don't tell me about your past? And he's like, good point. So anyways, so she confesses, Charlie confronts her, and then together they realize that they never even knew each other's true nature and were trying to build a fake life together. They accept where they both were wrong. So that's kind of what I just rambled about. Together they form a reluctant alliance because the situation is so much bigger than their fake relationship. Not fake, but their past relationship. So now she's part of the found family, and like they're all working together. And then they're planning the final mission. So Charlie, the pirates, and the X infiltrate the collapsing biolab. They face grotesque results of the legal experiments sponsored by the politician, which is kind of nature turned hostile. However you want to take what's going to be in that biolab, what you see. Charlie must destroy the lab, even though he discovers it's the only living evidence for what has happened to him. So while he was in foster care and being tortured, something he's been searching for his whole adult life. So after what happened to him with foster care, yeah, he was recruited, got into DARPA. He's a very young genius guy. But he was trying to slowly collect information about what was done to him through this private program. And he could never find anything and bring it to light in case he wasn't the only one that was getting experimented on. So he's very upset to find that not only is this like biolab collapsing due to this, and it should have never been a thing in the first place, but this sleazy politician was investing illegal funds into it. And now he was trying to pin it on Charlie. Charlie also finds out that it was the same kind of experiments being done to him. And so he's devastated in that moment, realizing not only does he have to destroy this lab, but it's going to come at a cost to something he was trying to get through all along, which was more information on the people that had the program that was torturing him in foster care, or when he was a foster care kid. So the female pirate convinces him to go through with destroying the evidence, vowing to help him find the evidence another way. So again, it's like her character has changed because she was in it for herself. But now that she has invested time with Charlie and the other pirate, and they've kind of have this like bond going through stress, they've like realized that the three of them are kind of the same. And even like the ex-girlfriend is kind of a buddy now. But she says to him, you know what, like, this is wrong what was done to you, but we need to do right in the moment. We need to destroy this lab so it doesn't hurt anyone with what's getting out. But I will help you find the evidence another way. So she's vowing to be there for him in the future. The pirates, once the capture is now stand beside him, found family forged in fire. Okay, this is a cheesy note I just put. The politician's corruption is exposed through the journalist X. So this journalist, she's like, you know what? I learned my lesson. Like, I jumped to conclusions about Charlie, didn't even know him, but you know what? I'm going to put this politician in the ground. I'm going to bring it to light what he's been up to. So she exposes him, and then that's her like redeeming story. And the politician's corruption is exposed through her. And then Charlie and the pirates, they set off on a new adventure. They're like, you know what? Let's go figure something out. Let's go figure out if we can track down more of the program that was done to Charlie, because they really like Charlie now. And that's that story. So that's the end. I kind of just see them like riding off on a boat together. So yeah, that's what I came up with. So themes and tropes that are highlighted, again, enemies to lovers, enemies to partners, Charlie and the female pirate, for example, captors to captives, role reversal, found family, forced proximity / survival alliances, and then science and obsession, man versus creation. So these are kind of just themes that I liked playing with when I wrote down my story idea for this. And then, okay, now we'll get into like the movie casting, and I will pull up my Mila note board here in just a sec to talk about that. Let's see here. So for director for this movie, well, I want you to think for this movie, I'd pitch it as like a history of violence, the Viggo Mortensen movie meets True Lies. So like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis movie. So it would be history of violence meets True Lies, that kind of vibe, if I were to pitch it for what to expect. And for a director, someone like David Fincher, I feel like would do a really good job with this movie, if you're listening, David. And or James Cameron, who I think directed True Lies, if he wants to take a break from Avatar and like have a fun adventure action movie where there's a lot of character change and dynamic going on, then he can do it as well. So I'll get into, I always like to do like a dream cast. Oops, let me go here. And of like what I would envision. Oh my gosh, I'm so lame. I don't know how to set this up. Okay, my floating head's going to be here for a minute. Okay, so my cast. So I would have Joe Keery, I think. I thought of him for Charlie. This is such a lame way of showing it. Forgive me, I'm still learning how to do this. I'm going to just get rid of my floating head. It's distracting me. So these are the characters that I have come up with, the dream cast for this movie. So Charlie is Joe Keery, I think is how you say it. I'm really bad, but I thought of his role in Free Guy. He kind of played a techie founder, and I watched a little bit of Stranger Things, like when he went through his character transformation of like being kind of a bully to then like the babysitter of the kids. And I think he's an actor that's not utilized fully in the industry right now. So I really like him for the role of Charlie. We see him with his glasses here. Then he's looking very sad and mysterious. And then I put this picture here because I see him. I want to see like a physical transformation in this story if it were to play out in a movie form, where he like shaves some of his hair off and he has to disguise himself, right? Like they all do. They kind of have to change up their appearance so they like don't get caught. But I don't know why I put this picture. It's from Crescent City. It's like fan art for Rude Dan from Crescent City. If you read romantasy novels, you'll know. But yeah, so he'll give himself an edgier look. And I kind of hinted at that at the beginning when it turned out he really liked house music. You know, like it's interesting to see, yeah, a guy that was who kind of looked really non-threatening, but then we again reveal someone through their taste in art, music, or how they choose to live their life. So that's what I had. And then for the female pirate, which I didn't give her a name, I usually do, but I'm trying not to get attached to this idea because I don't have time to write it, is Issa Briance, I think. Issa, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But yeah, she is from The Pit. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It is so good. And she's half Filipino, and that is perfect for our setting. She's gorgeous. But also what I liked about The Pit is she really showed a lot of tenacious Like she could really hold her own and kind of have this like threatening presence through her confidence. And I just love this idea of like this beautiful Filipino woman kind of coming in and taking over and being like, you're talking to me now, like I'm in charge. So yeah, I really like this actress. I think she's going to be in a lot, hopefully. She should be, because she's just wonderful. And then I have Mr. Terrific. If you've seen the new Superman movie, but what I really loved him in was Startup, and his name is Eddie Gathegi. Yeah. Edai. I don't know how to say his name. I'm really bad at that. That's okay. But yes, he would be an amazing character for the other pirate role. He's so good in Startup. If you haven't watched that TV show, I love his character. I think he takes on really interesting roles as an actor, and I feel like he would have this like charismatic presence to be like comedic relief, but also, you know, like let's get this job done. So yeah, I pictured him with her as like buddy buddy, and I thought that was a really good dynamic. And then the ex-girlfriend would be this actress, and I haven't seen her in too much. I watched a bit of Fair Play, which is what I saw her in. Phoebe Denver. Oh my gosh, I'm really struggling. That's okay, we're tired. But yeah, she in Fair Play, I thought she was, I don't know, she's really good at kind of being direct. She seems like she could play a good journalist that's kind of living two lives, and yeah, I really liked it. And then of course for my sleazy politician, the actor I had in mind right away was Dan Stevens, because I love him in everything. I didn't even put which role inspired me for him to play this character, but he's just got such amazing presence, and he can be really intimidating, and I would just love to see him play this antagonistic bad guy, essentially. Yeah, so that is what I have for my cast. Okay, so that is that breakdown. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to maybe draw some cards now, and then I might I'll start a new writing vlog on that. Maybe I'll jump on later this week and do it live. I think that would be really fun. I want to make sure I'm still streaming. I think so. Okay, no one in the chat. There we go. No one is left behind. So I'm going to do my new draw, get the cards going, and then again, if you want to take these cards and write a story yourself, I would love that. So we have a Storymatic card game. We're going to pull 2 cards for plot and 2 for character. So we have the dark orange and the gold, and super fun. We'll get that going. I always love this part. Some ASMR. Not really though. Okay. First card. Monsters! Yay! I love monsters. I feel like I can't write a story that doesn't have monsters in it. And if you haven't seen Frankenstein yet, please watch it. The creature in it, played by Jacob Elordi, is so good. I had never seen him in anything, but I see why there's so much hype around him now. He's fantastic. So we'll see him in Wuthering Heights next. Let's see this other card. Long-awaited invitation. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So those are those 2 cards. Now we'll pull from the gold. Storm Chaser. Okay. Interesting. Oh, God. I always get scared that I'm going to like this idea so much that I want to write a book about it. But no, we're going to give these ideas away. I have enough to do. That's a wild card, but we're not going to do that. I'm just going to distract by my phone, as we all do. This one. Survivor. Okay, cool. I like those. So to review, we have Monsters, Long Awaited Invitation, Storm Chaser, and Survivor. I think I'm going to, let's see here. I don't know how long I've been going. Oh, okay, a little bit. I'm gonna call it, and I will do a live writing session with these cards this week, and then I'll kind of do more talking about the book I'm working on, and we'll go from there. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. I don't know what the title, I usually title any story, even if it's like a plot synopsis, whatnot, like I usually give it a title, but I want you to take the prompts from this last Storymatic I did, the pirate, rituals interrupted, audible bang outside a vehicle, and politician. Either take it, come up with your own story, or take my story and write a screenplay with it, or a short story, a book, whatever you want to do. I'm here to give ideas away for free. I think, again, everyone is a storyteller, and you just need a push in order to do it. Maybe these prompts will wake something up in you. So that's last week. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown for those cards. And I'm going to start brainstorming these. And I'll do that on the next live. I won't get too into it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see. I'll have a more set schedule sometime soon. But thank you so much if you are tuning in, watching this. I love to blab and talk about storytelling. So if you're into that, hit a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can hang out with me and we can talk about stories and movies and books and all that good stuff. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Na, 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 na.